Well, we are live. It is the first day of 2023 that I'm doing a LinkedIn live stream. So glad to be with you this afternoon. So, if you are watching, let me know in the comments where you are watching from, what country or state. I love hearing from people from all over the globe. So drop in the comments where you're from and use this as an opportunity to connect with others as well. So if you see someone in the chat that you're not connected up with, go ahead and fix that and send them a connection request especially if they say something to you that resonates with you and you feel like, again, this is how you find your tribe, right? So by attending networking events just like this, which I consider this a networking event, because we're like-minded people that are trying to accomplish a similar goal, right? And we're working together. So in the chat, if you see somebody pop up that you're not connected with, use this as an opportunity to extend that invitation to them. So we've got some awesome folks showing up. Hey, Kay. Hello, everybody. Welcome from India. That's amazing. We've got people from all over Texas, South Carolina, exciting, Nigeria. This is what it's all about. Morocco, another Nigeria friend here. So wonderful. Again, that's what this is all about. This is the world's largest global network, LinkedIn, right? So again, how we show up, how we we're coming to these events, right? We're networking with others. We're building that trust, that collaboration on a collective global scale. That's amazing. So for everybody tuning in today, oh, we've got someone from Italy. That's fantastic. From everyone tuning in today, I have, just for your reference, about 36 people from all over the globe enrolled in my new online personal branding program that we just launched. And I've gotten some really good feedback from the folks that are in my program. They're, number one, having success, but number two, they're coming up with really good questions and valuable insights. So I thought I would share some of those today with everyone. And why not add more value to my audience in 2023? That's what this is all about. So today on this LinkedIn Live, I wanted to discuss some ways to optimize your profile, because a lot of people tend to put up a profile on LinkedIn and then neglect it, right? They forget to update it. They don't do necessary steps in order to be seen by, maybe it's recruiters, maybe you're looking for a job, right? Or transitioning to a different career. Maybe you're a business, maybe you're an entrepreneur looking to grow your audience. Maybe you're in the corporate world and you're looking to grow and expand in your role. Whatever your goals are for life, for success, for, the development of your career, your LinkedIn profile should communicate that with ease to the person you are trying to connect with or work with, whatever. Okay. So let's start with a couple of things that I want you to implement today to, again, start thinking of your profile in a different way. So keep in mind, guys, that your profile is Google, Yahoo, and Bing searchable. So when somebody Googles your name, so again, let's say you're someone looking for a job, right? They're going to Google your name. So what pops up? So first exercise I want everyone to do that's watching this video is to Google themselves. What pops up? Are those results favorable or not, right? So when we Google ourselves, that's not my opinion. That's, that's your personal brand, right? That's the digitization of your personal brand. So how you're showing up online. So if you're somebody that is looking for work, or if you're looking to even move up in your company, it doesn't matter who you are. Again, if you're a business owner looking for clients, looking for partners, looking for investors, the first thing anybody does is they look you up on Google. Then they look up your social media footprint. So, the importance of having an updated LinkedIn profile cannot be understated. It's so crucial, but especially for somebody looking for work, looking for a job, right? So, that digitization of your personal brand, as I said, is it working for you or is it working against you? So, these are some things I want you to keep in mind today when we do some deep dives into the LinkedIn profile itself. So keep in mind, this is, it's a profile, but it's actually a website. It's a landing page, right? Again, when you Google yourself, your LinkedIn profile should show up. So when it shows up, that's showing other people a glimpse into who you are, right? Your activities online. This, again, can either set you up for success or not. So important to get it dialed in. And absolutely to take it seriously, right? This could be the next level of success that you're looking for right here on LinkedIn just by having this profile dialed in. So we have some more people showing up. Hello, hello. Good to see you, Jerome. Fantastic. Can you put a profile on Google? Well, the benefit to LinkedIn is that it's already Google searchable. So as long as you have a LinkedIn profile, you will show up on Google. So again, that goes into the importance of, number one, thinking of it as a landing page, not as a profile. Again, think of yourself as a business. It doesn't matter what your goals are for business. Again, you could be employed, you could be happily employed. You still need to think of yourself as a business. That digitization of your personal brand is ultimately what's going to set you up for success or not. So think of yourself as a business. This LinkedIn profile is absolutely your business's landing page. So that's a good way to think of it. So let's start off with the About section, because again, I have about 36 people logged in right now, enrolled in my personal branding program from all over the world. There's 7 countries and represent 4 continents, and I believe 15 states within the United States as well. So these people are from all areas of life. Some are entrepreneurs many times over. Other people are in a corporate setting. They're happy with their careers. Other people are on the look for a job, right? Or on the look to start a business. So literally everybody from that entire spectrum. Now, one of the people that are enrolled in the program had a fantastic question to me last night, and that inspired this video today. So I wanted to go over that with you guys. Now, your About section, okay? The About section is one of the most important aspects of your LinkedIn profile. Absolutely, one of the most important. The About section, it should tell somebody why they need to do business with you as opposed to somebody else, okay? It's really important to make that About section about the other person, about the person that is reading your profile. Does that make sense? Do we have questions? Guys, comment if you have questions, right? As I talk, I want to make sure that this is super, super clear and transparent. The goal is to set you up for success. So comment if you have questions. And this is perfect. So Kay says, I'm the only LinkedIn Kay Waldron. Happy to connect with others here. So that's perfect. I benefit as well, Kay, because I have a very distinct and memorable name, right? So there's only one Tara LaFawn Gooch on LinkedIn as well. That's good because, that sets me up as distinguished, right? That's what you want to look for. So, anything like that, if you have a very common name, maybe try to add your middle name as well, maybe to your LinkedIn URL search and your full name. Again, something to make you distinguished among other people. It's always helpful. And we have Jerome here that says, thank you. I had no idea. Absolutely. So The About section is one of the most underutilized, in my opinion, spaces on your LinkedIn profile. I have clients that come to me every single day needing help crafting and copywriting that About section because it's not getting them leads. So let me repeat that one more time. Your About section can get you leads. It can lead to opportunities. It can lead to sales. It can lead to business partnerships and investment opportunities. But the About section has to be about that other person. So, what if you're a job seeker, right? What if you're a job seeker? Well, think about it. When you put in a resume to a company, what are some of the things that the applicant tracking system looks for? It's looking at keywords, isn't it? So when your resume is scanned in and when you apply for a job, that applicant tracking system is focusing on keywords to see if your resume is applicable to that role. Now, very similarly, the About section works here as well. Now, it's important to note that recruiters and hiring managers can do various searches on LinkedIn to pick up these keywords in this SEO, which is search engine optimization. So, your profile, therefore, should be rich with keywords and SEO. If it's not, this is a good opportunity to fix it because, guys, if your profile and if your About section is not rich with SEO and with keywords, you could be the absolute best person for a job, but you may get passed over. If your resume is not on point, if there's keywords that are missing, the same thing goes with your LinkedIn profile. So keep that in mind, again, as I'm talking. So if you don't have a job, let's say, and you're looking for one, find that perfect job description. Find a job that would ideally be what I would refer to as your dream job, right? So what is that? What does that look like? Within that job description, what are some of these keywords that the company describes as for that role? Okay. Now start putting in some of these keywords from this SEO within your profile as well. Okay. So your About section should have words that describe this role that you're looking for. That way, when a hiring manager searches profiles, they can do so intelligently and find you. That's so key. So I know that this works. I've experienced it myself. So this would have been maybe 2 years ago. I started getting all of these recruiters approach me for jobs that didn't even make sense to me. Why they have found my profile and were reaching out for me to me for a specific role when I had no idea what the correlation was between my profile and this role that they were looking to me for. As it dawned on me then that my profile was filled with the wrong keywords, the wrong SEO. Okay. So therefore, when they were searching, they found the wrong person. It was somebody that was not aligned up with that role because of keywords. So your skills section needs to be updated, right? So take a good hard look at your skills section. Are your skills applicable today to the role you're looking for? If the answer is no, then it needs to be updated, right? So your skills section, your About section, those are good complements of each other. So if you're again looking for that role, a new role, you want to make sure that your About section tells the hiring manager, tells the recruiter, number one, why you're the best, most logical person for that specific role, but also feel free to add value to your audience, right? So feel free to enrich your profile, that About section, with some statistics of why it makes sense maybe for you to be hired for that role. What you could do that, again, nobody else does based on some background, some level of experience that you have. Enrich it with keywords and SEO, and then watch as that change happens. Now, it's not going to be overnight. That's important to note. But again, I know this works because when I made these changes, I stopped getting irrelevant recruiters and irrelevant jobs coming to me. Another fascinating thing that happened is I went from about 2,000 profile views every 7 days to now well over 6,000 to 10,000 views every 7 days. So the amount of profile views skyrocketed. Again, that's potential within itself, is it not? When someone looks at your profile, it could change your life because they could be coming to your profile and trying to hire you for a role. They could come to your profile to do business with you as a customer, a partner, or investor, or otherwise. They could be coming to you as a client. But if they don't know within 5 to 7 seconds if you are in fact that right person for that role, they will go to the next profile that is more clearly understandable with better copywriting that speaks to that target client, that target audience. So again, no matter what your goal for LinkedIn is, if your goal is to find a job, or if your goal is to move up in a company or get promoted in some kind of capacity, maybe it's to go from a regional role to a director role or director to C-suite. Your LinkedIn profile is going to be a great gateway for you to get to that next level of success that you're looking for. But in order for it to be memorable and effective, you have to communicate explicitly, clearly why you are that person for that role. But you have to do it in such a way that it adds value to that other person. So again, if you're looking for a job, make sure your audience understands thoroughly in their About section why you would be the best person for this role. What you have done in your career prior to this that will set that company, not you, that company up for success just because of hiring you. What makes you unique and differentiated compared to other candidates of this same role, right? That are applying for the same position. What about you sets you apart that will help that company? So easy, right? But think about it. Think about it from that third party lens, that third party perspective. So if you were an employer, so put yourself in the other person's shoes. If you were a employer or a recruiter or a hiring manager, wouldn't you care that the people that you're bringing in for interviews, bringing into your organization, ultimately help the organization? Of course. Goals and, achievements are fantastic. We can't leave these out of our profiles. We absolutely have to highlight them, but we have to do it in such a way that it highlights helping the other person or company, right? So I hope that makes sense. We've got some questions coming in. Yes, Jerome, absolutely. I conduct private sessions. So I have one-on-one 60-minute strategy meetings for LinkedIn. I also do group coaching and private one-on-one coaching. So lots of different ways to work with me. I appreciate you reaching out, Jerome. We can talk maybe after the event today. But the goal for 2023 for everybody is to set you up for success online. Again, the digitization of your personal brand and the perception of what people have when they Google you. Then, what's the perception that people have when they look at your LinkedIn profile? If they look at your LinkedIn profile and it's all about you and your achievements and your successes, it's not telling anybody who's looking at your profile how you can help them achieve the same result. Ultimately, what human beings care about is how you can help them, right? Maybe it sounds selfish, but I think it's generally how human beings are. So when someone looks at your LinkedIn profile, it should be written with that other person in mind. If we write with that other person in mind, we see that it becomes very easily communicative to that person that they should do business with you. Ultimately, you become a source of knowledge and insight, right? So feel free to give value, lots of it. But also, your about section, you want somebody to stay on there for a while. You get, I think, almost 3,000 characters to fill that about section up. Make sure you're utilizing this section. It's huge, it's key. But it shouldn't be cluttered either, right? So this is very key with copywriting. You want to make sure that it's easy on the eye. Nobody wants to read a novel when they go to your about section. It should include lots of good white space so that it's easy and friendly on the eye and friendly on the reader who's ultimately looking at your profile. Don't forget your call to action. Call to actions are not embedded within the profile. They are at the end. The goal of your profile on your about section should start with an interesting hook, right? It should clearly communicate immediately before that second sentence even happens, that first sentence immediately and clearly indicates who the target person is of when reading that section. So if you're in business, let's say, whoever your target client is, it needs to be addressed immediately in the first sentence. That way, if someone reading your about section is not that target, they go on to the next. You don't waste their time. They end up not wasting yours as well. Again, this is the power of copywriting. Clear, explicit language right in that first sentence. Then beyond that, good amount of white space, add a depth of clarity, add a depth of value, communicate clearly and effectively, make sure it's easy on the eye, it's easy to read and understand. And again, it adds value and enriches. So if we're applying for jobs and we're not doing these things, chances are we will get passed up for opportunities. Keywords, SEO, white space, value, statistics, enrich, but hook from the beginning so that at the end it is very clear. Number one, am I the right person to be looking at this profile and doing business with that person? And then the meat of it, and then at the end, a call to action. How can somebody get in contact with you? How can somebody communicate with you? What is your preferred method of communication? And give it to them. But that has to be very clear as well. We can't have one part and not the other parts. In order for this to be an effective exercise, this about section, it has to include all of these areas and all of these parts. Again, I have seen clients, and I have myself gotten other clients just because of the about section was clear. It was easily understood what I do, why I do it, who I serve, the pain points that target client has or audience has, and how I help solve their problems and their pain points. Very simple. That's how it should be. But the copywriting is so crucial, right? So again, when someone looks at our profile, 5 seconds for that first impression. Then once they make that visual impression of, okay, I'll stay on this profile, there's something here, they generally go to your about section. They might also go to your activity. They could go to your skills. If all of these sections and areas are not aligned up, right, with congruency, with consistency of either branding or messaging or communication, it's ultimately going to deter people from looking at your profile because they're going to get confused. you want to make sure that your profile and all of the language within your profile, as well as your activity, your communication, your skills, your copywriting is all congruent and consistent with a singular messaging point, right? Make it simple. Again, if somebody's looking at your profile, you only have 5 seconds. Make sure in those 5 seconds that it communicates very effectively. I hope that makes sense. Here's some more questions. How do you mean have SEO in the about section? Can you elaborate on that? Absolutely. So it's this SEO, these are keywords, right? Who is your target client? So this could be something we may need to have a one-on-one session with, to talk about this a little bit more clearly in depth. But it's keywords, right? So my target audience are executives. So I'm going to put executive, the word executive, in my about section. I'm also going to put pain points in my about section, right? Statistics. These are, some of the things that you're going to want to put in there that add value, add the depth of clarity. But key words. What do you do that is a keyword that can help someone else solve a problem? So if somebody is searching for this, they can find you. So again, the about section, keywords, SEO, that's what I mean by that. So layering in those keywords, that search engine optimization is ultimately going to help get more views on your profile, which helps get more business, more opportunities, etc. And again, I know this is possible because I went from, like I said, about 2,000 or less profile views every 7 days to once I redid my entire profile, it went up to about 6,000 and has stayed there at a consistent clip for the last 2 months. 6,000 views every week, every 7 days, every week for the last 2 months, just after redoing everything on my profile and adding in keywords. This is so important. It's also important to notice who's looking at your profile, guys. Who's looking at your profiles? It should be top decision makers. It should be people that you want to do business with. So here's another good indication if your profile is working for you, if it's not. Are your views coming from your target client? If you can answer yes, then your profile may be okay, right? It may have that SEO, those keywords. But if you're not getting the profile views, either in number that you want, so in volume, or by the level of person that you want to do business with, your about section, your headline, and other areas of your profile most likely need to be updated. So I hope that makes sense to everyone listening. We've got some questions coming in. Goals and achievements, very important, but ultimately what makes the difference is what can you achieve for someone else, right? So again, LinkedIn is the world's largest business-to-business networking platform, right? It's global. But it's a social platform. We come here with business in mind on a social level, right? But we want to make sure ultimately that when we look at somebody's profile, that how they can help us achieve some goal. If it's not clear, they will go to the next person. And it doesn't matter even if you're the best suited person for that job. If your profile does not clearly communicate that, someone looking will go to someone else. So make sure your goals and achievements are there, but with the mindset and the viewpoint of how it can better enrich someone else, right? I think that is so key, and I don't think we talk about it enough here on LinkedIn. Yes, Dream, hit me up with a connection request. I'd love to connect with you, sir. But yes, in order to set ourselves up for success in 2023, we have to get these profiles dialed in, guys. There's over 800 million users, and 1% of users post on LinkedIn, 4% comment. There's so many millions of people that are onlookers right now that may be watching this but haven't posted yet, that don't have their profiles dialed in yet. You could be the absolute best person for that job. But how you're showing up online, your LinkedIn profile, your activity, your networking ability, your ability to build relationships in online communities, and ultimately the digitization of your personal brand can either set you up for that success or take it away. I don't want to see any more people fail in 2023, guys. There's no excuse. We have this personal branding playbook program right now, and 36 people all over the world are enrolled right now and having success. I had a fantastic direct message that was sent to me today. I'm going to have it in the form of a post later, if not today, tomorrow, of someone who tuned into a podcast appearance that I was on at the end of November. So this was November 22nd. We were not connected before this podcast appearance. He tuned into the podcast appearance, followed me, started engaging with my content, starting applying some of the strategies that I teach all the time. And because of that, he went from November to the 14% or so in his network on his social selling index score on LinkedIn. So he's at the top 14%. Now he is at the top 4% of his network in that social selling index score in just that incredibly short amount of time. So again, it's 2 months. And he went from 14% to top 4%. Incredible results just by dialing in his LinkedIn profile, changing his headline, updating his about section, getting more involved in his community, relationship building, things that I preach all the time, and then by dialing in his content with a strategy in mind. So again, same thing with, we've been talking about this about section today, and we have to write it in the voice of the customer, right? You have to write it with that other person in mind. How is this adding value to someone else? Okay. And why would that person want to do business with us based on that profile, based on that about section? There needs to be that congruency of that messaging across as well within the rest of your profile, but then further expand that with your content. This is key. So again, we have to have these profiles dialed in so that when we put out really good content with a strategy in mind, that it ideally grabs that target client and it nurtures them throughout the entire process. I have had people approach me and want to do business with me because of a clarity of messaging, and that's it. They understood very clearly there was something that I said that was a pain point for them, a problem for them, and I came up with a solution. They recognized that it was the shortest distance between 2 points was me, right? So where they were now versus where they want to be, and that allowed them to want to do business with me and connect with me and collaborate with me, etc. So it's that clarity of messaging that starts at your profile. So before you even begin to think about creating content, I think that's where so many people are, get kind of sideways. They think in order for me to be seen, I just need to put out lots of content, just create. Well, true, but if your profile is not dialed in, it's not going to make sense for that target client when they view your content. It's ultimately not going to get the message across. So start off 2023, all of your LinkedIn goals, no matter what they are, by getting a third-party perspective on your profile. And if anybody wants me to have a third-party perspective on their profiles, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let's, set up an appointment. If in 5 seconds It's what I do. I do a 5-second test. If in 5 seconds it's not clear to me who you are, what you do, what who you serve, and how you help them, then something needs to change because we only get these 5 seconds ever. And that goes for anybody. So let's do this. And, if we need this exercise, absolutely. The goal is to help as many people as possible in 2023. I don't want to see any more people that I know could be successful not get there just because of something on LinkedIn or their online presence, right? So, absolutely use me as a resource. I would absolutely love to help you get that third party perspective on your LinkedIn profiles or your content or both. It's so key, so crucial. So, Jerome, let's set up an appointment and maybe go over some things individually. And then, too, absolutely, let's connect. Follow my content. Watch what I do. I give a lot of value away all the time, and there's a reason I do that, right? So, I I asked somebody once. I said, "You give away so much value, so much insight in your content. Aren't you? Are you ever worried that you're giving away too much and that people won't want to work with you as a result?" And this is the analogy that person said. So when Mrs. Fields, we all know Mrs. Fields, the cookie company, right? When Mrs. Fields was first going into business, you know, they had to get their name out there, right? So one of the best ways that she did it, and it was very effective, was taking cookies and cutting them up into small pieces and giving them to people in crowds, right? So it's a sampling approach. So by me giving value to my audience in the form of content and LinkedIn Lives like this, I'm giving you a sample of what it is to work with me, right? What it is like to work with me. So I believe in giving a lot of value because that value ultimately will enrich your life and bring more opportunities to you. And if there's something that I can do to bring more opportunities and more value to my audience and ultimately set you guys up for more success, I'm absolutely going to do it. I believe in giving those samples and adding a lot of value because ultimately that's what I want to be known for. I want to be known as somebody in business that truly cares about building their community and wants people to succeed on a collective scale. What else do you want to be known for in business, right? Um, so anyway, great comments today. I'm so happy for everybody that tuned in to the show. And again, if everybody or if anybody wants to book an appointment with me, please DM me after this and we'll set something up for next week. But cheers to you and your success in 2023. I know you guys are fully capable of doing absolutely anything that you set your minds to. So, one of my most favorite books of all time, I'll close on this, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, published in 1910. It's a classic. But in the book, he describes passion, right? And following your passion. And that within all of us, we have the ability to do anything. We have the ability to become successful. And he describes passion as power seeking performance, right? So within all of us, there resides a passion to do something. There resides this desire that is just seeking expression. And whatever your success looks like to you, and whatever your goals are looking like going into 2023, you have a desire. You're seeking some type of thing, right? You're seeking some type of ability to express yourself in a bigger way. It's already within you. All of that ability is already within you and exists. So you can get there by, again, starting with the digitization of your personal brand, your online presence, your online activity, your digital footprint, and again, how far can that take you for the rest of your life? So, no matter what your goals are, start with thinking about this in mind. Again, a third party's perspective on you, where you are now, and then understanding where you want to be down the road, and then how to close that gap. How to close that gap, right? So it's all very possible in 2023. I have seen it happen with many, many clients, and it can happen with you too. So let's work together in 2023 to accomplish some very big goals. But thank you so much for everyone that tuned in today. I truly appreciate every single one, and we will see you soon. Cheers.